Welcome back to the Tomahawk. We're your hosts, Mike and Matt. It has been a really exciting week of Blackhawk hockey. They won the series out in Columbus, didn't they? Or did they split that 1-1?
1-1.
1-1, and they beat Detroit. So that was huge. Growing up watching the Hawks, watching Detroit, continually beat up on the Hawks, watching them beat up on them now is great to see. The Hawks are turning in from I would say, not as much a Cinderella team to more of a team that teams really need to look out for. We have a roster of guys that are really putting a lot of effort in these games and really leaving it out there. And on top of that, most of these guys have a lot of talent as well. They're all gaining confidence per game, and they're all gelling as a team as well, because you have so many rookies and guys who really haven't played in the league too much, and they have leaders like Patrick Kane and DeBrincat to show them the way, and Soderberg probably showing some leadership as well.
Duncan Keith too.
And Keith, obviously Duncan Keith, and I forgot about him. But one big thing is Andrew Shaw is out for the foreseeable future with a concussion. Really feel for that guy. But we're going to break down the past couple series between Columbus and Detroit. Playing against Columbus, it was more of the same of what we've been talking about before. Strong play on both ends of the ice. Special teams has been tight. And it really comes down to the bounce of the puck in a lot of these games. Columbus has been a tough team for the Hawks to play against, but it could also be said on the other end of the ice as well. I don't think that Columbus has expected as much competition from the Hawks. I don't think anybody has really expected as much competition from the Hawks. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I think they're a team. The other team's got to start taking them serious. If they're not, I mean, they're gutsy, pesky team. They're always hanging in there and getting big saves. And the second game of Columbus, we were down 1 in Lincoln and kept us in the game. And Soderberg got a goal late, and we ended up winning no T. But in the past, we couldn't get that save. From wherever, if it was Crawford or as we started going downhill. But it's nice we got a guy that's stepping up and giving the team a chance to win. And I think a lot of these teams in our division, they were probably, the Hawks are rebuilding. This is going to be an easy 2. Nah, not so much anymore.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. No kidding. I think a big factor in these games is that a lot of times, man, the Hawks would give up a goal with like 58 seconds left, a minute 30 left, 35 seconds left, 15 seconds left going in at the end of the period, especially after battling back the entire period, trying to tie it up. Then they let a goal go in, then they go into the locker room defeated. In your experience, what is that like, having the wind taken out of your sails like that going into the locker room?
I had coaches in my playing days. You never want to give up the first shot of a game, meaning the first period, the first shift. You never want to give up a goal. And at the end of the periods, you never want to give up a goal, because you're going in the locker room like, man, especially if you were up and then they tie it, it's just backbreaking, and that can't happen. I think at the beginning of the season, we didn't really experience that much. We had 2 blowout games. I think we lost 5-0, 5-0, 5-1 or something.
I think it was 5-1 both games.
Yeah, 5-1 , and then I think.
Oh no, I think it was 5-1, 5-1, then 5-2.
Yeah, but yeah, like those days, you can't. I know the Hawks have actually been on the other side of that. We've been getting goals in the first period, and we've been getting goals in the last minute. And you could usually, when you score those goals, you win the game. Right. And I think, if we stay on track, we're going to be fighting for a playoff spot. And you know what? I was the last person. I thought we would, we wouldn't be contending. I honestly thought Detroit would be better than the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
And
I remember.
They were rebuilding.
Practically broke my heart.
they're a little yeah, they're a little ahead of us with the rebuild. You know, it's been what three years, and they're. I mean, our rookies are playing like they're veterans right now, and
Yeah.
Detroit can't catch a break. They got some really good young guys, and I mean, looking at that roster, like they should be a lot better than what they are, but they're just not getting the goal scoring, and they're not getting that big save like we're getting.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes you wonder if it's not necessarily a talent thing, but maybe an organizational development thing.
Yeah, Stevie Y. I mean, he built that Tampa team. That team is his.
Yeah, but
He absolutely knows what he's doing.
I,
So
yeah, that's true.
Kenny Holland, this is kind of half his team, and Stevie Y came in I think 2 years ago. He's been drafting well, stockpiling, and I think he's going to do it again. Obviously, he's got no choice. I'm sure he's going to get rid of Mark Stahl. I know Olchek was talking about that,
Really?
saying probably teams in the hunt for a playoff spot are going to want experienced guys like Mark Stahl. I could see some guys maybe making offers for that Fabry and possibly Bobby Ryan, but I mean, he doesn't. He was off to a hot start, but he's kind of been, you don't hear too much about him anymore.
That's usually his calling card, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'd take Bobby Ryan 2010, but that he was a good player with the Ducks. It's crazy how things change fast for some guys for the worse.
It's pretty much the same story with Matt Duchene in Colorado and leaving.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he has more of an attitude problem.
What has he got? One goal? I think he finally scored. Maybe.
Yeah,
That team's also like right there. Like they could have a fire sale as well. I mean, they're. I thought Nashville with their defense would have been a lot better than what they are, even better than the Hawks, Detroit. I even thought they'd be better than Florida. With they got some solid goaltenders, and they're not playing well either. So.
Right.
I mean, the Hawks have a really good chance here. They got to keep it going.
Yeah.
I mean, our threats are obviously Dallas, which we beat. I mean, I think Florida beat. Do we beat Florida?
I thought we beat him one game.
We beat them with Lankinen, I think.
Yeah.
Right? So,
yeah.
I mean, we could play with all these teams. Tampa, obviously we're going to play them again. We'll see how they do with, a better goaltender, and that being Lankinen.
And a better team as well, more gel team. I mean, we were playing the Stanley Cup champions. The first game with a bunch of rookies.
And these youngsters are playing great. I mean, Brandon Hagel, man, he's exciting to watch. I mean, he just is like the Flash, man. He takes off with that.
Yeah,
puck
he does.
Forechecks fast. He's got a stick on the guy before he can make a pass. Man, he's like you said, he's going to be like a favorite, fan favorite if he keeps playing the way he does. That's like kind of like a Chicago athlete, works hard and doesn't get like the respect Kane's going to get, but still like an earlier Andrew Shaw. People just love Shaw just because he's blocking shots with his face. And this guy's a hard worker, and he's going to get a lot of fans if he keeps playing the way he does.
Yeah, he is, man. More and more every game that goes by, I like him more and more and more, and it's hard not to. I was really surprised when he dropped the gloves with Liney, because I didn't really see him as that type of player, but he dropped him. He dropped Liney.
I mean, Liney doesn't fight that much either, and I kind of give him some props for defending his teammate. He's a
new team too. A new team too.
That's good for him. But he picked Brandon Hagel. I'm going to fight a rookie. Oh shoot, he actually knows how to fight, and he did drop him. We got some good hits on him. He
did. Yeah, I think he lost some more hair too.
Yeah, that's weird.
You see him, he's got like long hair and he's bald.
He's got a balding spot, yeah. Come on, man. Let's go. That helmet.
So one of the biggest things that we've been talking about is the stability in net. And I think that Malcolm Subban is a very big part of that. I think that this could be his thing, maybe his thing in the league, because he's been looking for a spot. Where does he fit in? Is he going to be? Can he step out of his brother's shadow and be a starter? And if he can't do that, what's he going to do? And maybe he fits in as a backup, as a solid backup. You don't have to be the number one center scoring, getting 90 assists a year to have a spot in the league. Maybe he
Yeah.
needs to settle in in a backup role to gain some confidence before he could take that next step, or maybe he just doesn't. What do you
Well,
think?
I think he's got the opportunity to be a starter, and I mean he's been getting chances and he's winning. I mean he might draw some interest at the deadline as well. Maybe like a team like Edmonton. I know they're searching for a goalie. They've been searching for a goalie for years. And I mean, you
Yeah.
got two of the best players in the league. These guys aren't going to even make the playoffs, I don't think, because of the goaltending. But I mean, maybe he's going to want to leave to get a shot, which I wouldn't blame him because I
Yeah.
mean, obviously Lankinen's running away with this.
Yeah.
But Subban's been awesome the last two starts he's had. I mean, Detroit he beat, and I think he played really well against. Who did we play before Columbus? I think that was his last start. Was it Dallas? Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
Dallas. He
Yeah.
played well too. He gave up that one off his glove, but he got the win.
Yeah.
And I could see
It
a
was late
team.
too, though. That's what sucked.
Yeah, that's what's got to stop.
And that's what I was getting to earlier
Yeah,
is stopping those late in the game goals.
you need that big save, and Lankinen is the guy that's been giving them, that big. Except Lankinen did have a bad game
Yeah.
against that Columbus, and he admitted it himself, but he was a pro about it. He came back the next game, kept the team alive, and we won. And I agree with Colleton. Throw him right back in there and get him his confidence back, and he did. He played awesome tonight and the other night against Detroit.
That was a great answer back by him
Yeah,
to brush it off, and it really goes to show you what you have with him too. Is he going to
yeah,
sulk about it? Is it going to affect him?
yeah.
So yeah. I think. What do you think the Hawks could get for Subban? What would you ask for? And then on top of that, what if the Hawks aren't sellers at the deadline? What if they're buyers?
Well, I think if somebody really wanted Subban, like say, like I'm just speculating, like Edmonton. I know they're a team that needs a goalie. I know Pittsburgh is actually having some issues with their goaltending. He's on the cheaper end, and I know he's playing on a good Hawk. Well, he's playing on a good Hawks team, but can you imagine him on a defensive team? Like Pittsburgh's got a pretty solid defense. I could see us getting maybe a third round pick or maybe another goalie prospect.
Okay.
But I'd rather keep the guy if he wanted to be here. But
Yeah.
if you can get something that'll make us a better club, you got to do it.
And it makes you wonder what does make the Hawks a better club, at this point, because of how well that they're gelling and how well that they're playing. And you don't want to tinker with it too much because that could really change things.
Well, I think what would make us better is just health. We need like a healthy Kirby Doc.
Yeah.
I doubt Taves will be back this year. I mean, he's probably not skating or, conditioning or anything. But even getting Doc, possibly Siebes, who knows? I don't see him coming back either if he tweaked his back. And that's like, what's that? $16 million in cap space with Taves and Seabrook being out. It sucks, man.
It's a killer.
That's money we could spend on somebody, like on the block, and it'd be great to.
I think that they're both on long-term injury reserve right now, though. So
Yeah,
we do get that cap space back.
Yeah, but it's like you're getting a rental guy then. You know what I mean? You're not going to invest in a guy like over $4 or $5 million just to probably let him go the next year. But I think it would be cool to. There's some guys out there like, obviously want to change the scenery. I think Phoenix is kind of going to have a fire sale. Possibly Buffalo, they're struggling. Be nice to get like a Taylor Hall here. I know I'm just Jeff Skinner. He's having a rough season, but I mean, I think he'll be on the way out if they can get rid of that cap hit. Just somebody like that can help us. Like I think another defenseman. I know I don't want to take our young guys out, but I think having a veteran guy to help these guys out. I'm not saying our guys are doing bad or anything, but it would be nice to have a guy with a little more experience, being that Connor Murphy looks like he's going to be out for a while as well.
Yeah, they were originally saying 14 days, but there hasn't been an update on that.
I heard it. I heard he got a bad hip injury, so
Oh, okay. Well, then
I don't know.
it's gonna be for the foreseeable future then.
Well, I know Ottawa's pretty rough this year too. They're probably going to get rid of some guys, but I don't even think they have guys to get rid of. They're kind of
Yeah,
rebuilding as well. And I
yeah.
don't see a lot of teams trading with any Canadian teams because you have to quarantine for
14 days.
2 weeks, and that's a long time to sit down when you're a pro. You got to keep skating and stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I was surprised Carolina made that trade with them with Dzingel,
Mm-hmm.
the Illinois native.
Yeah.
He's got to sit. He's got to sit in his freaking hotel for 14 days. It's insane. So
Yeah.
we might see some little trades within the divisions. I'm thinking so. There's no quarantining or anything. But as far as getting teams in the Canadian division, I doubt it's going to happen unless they change the policy, which I don't understand anyway. I mean, these guys are taking tests every day. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, give him a test when he gets back, and if he passes, let the guy play.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole of going into COVID and testing and policies and all that stuff.
There's just a lot of weird stuff with it. It's like these coaches are all wearing masks on the bench.
Yeah.
It's like you guys are taking tests every single day. I mean, I get it, the masks help and stuff, but you don't need them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're taking these tests every single day, and you're passing it. So I don't know how you're going to get it.
Yeah, obviously it falls into where your politics are and how you feel about it. The mask wearing.
Yeah.
Some people will say they don't matter. Some people will say that they do make a difference.
I think
that the NHL has been pretty successful so far.
Yeah.
From what they've done, they didn't have a single COVID case for the playoffs
bubble.
last year.
Yeah.
In the bubble, so that was a huge victory. Compared to what some of the other leagues like the NFL and the MLB were experiencing.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, I think that they should just keep it business as usual because it seems to be working.
I think with hockey, though, a lot of these games, I don't think some teams they're not going to play the full season because of all, like with football, say, hey, we can't play Sunday. So, okay, we'll play Tuesday. They got the luxury to do that. The NHL really can't. We can't really do that. I mean, it's tougher. But, I just think a lot of the NHL is trying to set a good example and look good by, having the coaches and, trainers wear their masks. But again, they're taking their tests every day. They wouldn't even let the guys in the building if they were, negative.
Right.
And some of these tests have been bad. I know Stamkos had a false negative, and he couldn't play.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I mean, if that happened to us, I'd be pretty ticked off if it was like Kane or DeBrincat. It maybe could have happened with DeBrincat. He was on the protocol for a while, but man, he's been on fire. That would just kind of that'd be bad for us. We've got a lot of momentum right now, and we wouldn't want something like that to slow us down.
Especially for him, because he's like we mentioned in the last podcast, he was snake bitten for quite a while.
Yeah.
Well, the whole season last year, he was pretty snake bitten. Wasn't scoring very much.
Yeah.
So we covered the goalie situation. Let's talk about defense. And the two biggest things I want to talk about are the rookies. Obviously, I don't want to get into Dehan and Keith tonight because there isn't really much to talk about. It's pretty much the same thing with them. Pretty solid. Dehan, he's. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to get at night. Sometimes he's pretty solid, and other times he makes questionable decisions. So I'll just leave it at that. I want to talk about Boqvist and Bowden and where they fit in, because I think Bowden is more solid than Boqvist is, and I think that from what I've seen so far, I think that he's a better defenseman than Boqvist. Where does Boqvist fit in here?
I don't know. I think Bowden, he jumps in the play at the perfect time. Like
he does,
and he gets back in time, and he's responsible in his own zone, which we need. And I don't think Boqvist is responsible at times. He did look good tonight. It was his first game back. I think Keith gave him a really nice pass tonight. He kind of jumped in and I think it was like right in front of the slot, and Bernier made a save, but Keith gave him a really good pass, and he would have looked great if he put that in his first game back. But maybe a top 4, I guess I'd say, for Boquist, but maybe a bottom, because these young guys, Mitchell and Bowden, are playing great right now. I mean, it's hard to take somebody out when we're looking good, you know?
Well, Mitchell's on the top pairing. I didn't bring him up because he's been so solid.
And you know what, too? Zadorov, I thought, had a good game tonight, too. He was throwing his body around. Again, he does have trouble getting the puck out. He'll throw it up. Maybe he does it blind. I don't know. It's just he did have a couple nice clears, though. He puts them off the glass, and I think it was a penalty kill. But still, I think he's got to get that puck, make a nice pass, or just eat it, because he did cause some. He did turn it over a lot tonight, I noticed.
Okay.
But our D, I think, is solid. I mean, Murphy. I never thought I'd say Murphy might be our best stay-at-home defenseman.
Yeah.
This season, and he got hurt. It's a shame, but these young guys are stepping up. I mean, I could see Mitchell, Keith, maybe Bowden and DeHaan, and maybe you got, when Murphy comes back, Murphy and Boquist, or I mean, you got to throw Zadorov in there. He's still playing good. There's some competition. They gotta prove it, I guess. These young guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm seeing Keith, Mitchell, maybe Murphy and Bowden, and
top 4.
Yeah, and Zadorov and Boquist is the bottom line pairing. You can swap Zadorov and Murphy back and forth on that second pairing, but I think that the Hawks, it would be a good idea to run 3 defensive pairings to cut back on Keith's ice time, to keep him fresh.
I mean, I think you can with Mitchell, because he kind of reminds me of a young Duncan Keith. He could actually. I know he wears 51, but he also reminds me of a Campbell, because I could see him being a puck mover, getting it in the zone and setting it up for his offense or offense. If I'm Mike Babcock,
offense, yeah, freaking guy, man.
But I think Mitchell. Who knows how long Duncan Keith's got left? But I mean, he's still playing a lot of minutes.
Yeah. I want them to cut back his minutes and run a 3 defensive pairing. I think that they can. I think that it's a luxury that they have.
I think they should. If we are going to make the playoffs, he's going to be getting big minutes, Keith.
Yeah.
With our defense, I don't know. I think there's going to be an odd man out, and it might be Boquist.
Yeah. That's a possibility.
We'll see, because I think Colleton likes. I guess they call him Big Z. I know he's no Chara, but they like Z back there because he's throwing the body around, and he's making
he's
good
taking
plays.
Shots. He's taking shots when he has an opportunity too, and I like that.
I mean, if you're a guy dumping it in and you see Big Z,
yeah,
you're going to get hit.
Yeah,
that's like I said. I've never seen a Hawk lead in hits ever.
Yeah,
and I think he's still leading the league in hits.
Yeah. Now let's move on to special teams. Power play, still 3rd in the league. PK has been very solid. I would say maybe the past 8 games. They've been, I don't even know how many goals that they've let in, but it's been so few that I can't even tell you that I've seen a playoff goal in a power play goal come in on the kill. Yeah. I think that they've really shored up the penalty kill, and the power play is still scoring. I think that is what's making the biggest difference on this team, is because they're not letting goals come in on penalties, and they're scoring goals when they get these opportunities on the power play, and that's why we're winning these games by 1 goal.
Yeah, it's gutsy. Well, in the previous years, sometimes we would have a great penalty kill. but a terrible
Yeah.
power play. And then the
Right.
next year we'd have a great power play, but a crappy penalty kill, and vice versa. But this year we have both, and this is
Yeah.
why we're competing.
Yeah.
And it's good to see.
Right. So in closing, I want to put it out there. The Hawks are in second place in the standings at I think they're 9-5-4 or 10-5-4, something like that. And I was not expecting that. I was expecting them to be right in the middle of the pack, honestly, but maybe lower middle.
Yeah,
I was
Me too.
optimistic saying middle of the pack, and they're competing out there with every team that they've played against, and it's great to see. I love seeing this young team go out there and put in these gutsy performances, because that's what you need in the playoffs is gutsy performances. It's not just all talent that wins. And if they can get there, anything can happen, So what do you have anything else left?
Yeah, I think I was just upset the offseason that I just wanted them to be bad because I didn't like the moves Bowman made. I thought
Yeah.
I was a little bitter about the Crawford thing. I mean, he saw something in Lankinen that no one else did, and I give him props for that. Still not a big fan of Bowman, but he put together some nice young players, and they're playing well.
Yeah, I
agree. I think if they keep it up, they're going to be in the playoffs. And like you said, anything can happen. I hope maybe we add a veteran, maybe a winger, or maybe a defenseman. I mean, just give some stability back there. I mean, I think we're solid, but playoff experience is huge, especially when I think we got like 6 rookies on this team. And I think another guy that's been there would help out a lot. That's available. I mean, we'll see when the time comes, like who's, on the way out, or who wants out, or who are the Hawks interested. I'm sure we're going to hear rumors and
who wants in.
Stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. It's a good city to play at, and you got a goalie that's standing on his head, and actually he has 2 assists. He got another one tonight.
Yeah.
And that's impressive as well.
It is. It's great to see, man. It's great to see. Well, this is what we got for you today, guys. Give us a comment. Let's get the conversation started. Get us on Twitter. What's our handle? At Chicago Tomahawk?
Yes, sir.
Oh, get us over there and let's talk hockey, because that's what we love to do. It's a lot of fun.
And congratulations to Lankinen on the first shutout of his career.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get about 14 more and tie the record. Right?
Yeah, I think he had 15, didn't he?
15, yeah. That's
15. That's
amazing.
Crazy, man.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, everybody. That's all that we got for you tonight. This is Matt and Mike. We're out.